Hello? Hello? I'm back. Okay. Hi friends and welcome back. Welcome to my video. You are in my video. Welcome to my video. You are in my video. Hi friends and welcome back. Today looks a little different and I'll tell you why. That's because I'm in my kitchen. If you can see a mess of dishes behind me, you know, we're not even going to worry about it today. And I'll tell you why we're in the kitchen today. We're going to be doing some different kind of videos. And yeah, that's just where I'm at in life. I don't wear a ton of makeup anymore, but I still want to hang out with you guys and kind of talk to you. Not to say that there won't be makeup content, but it's going to be a little more like lifestyle centered now. I've got a new camera that I'm recording on right now, so we'll see how that looks and test that out and kind of get a feel for it. Today's like the first day I'm really using it, so I'm excited for this. We're in the kitchen today because we're going to try to make some bread. And I say try to make some bread because it has to be gluten-free, and that's not always the easiest thing to figure out, as I'm learning on my journey. Basically, I've got a gluten-free sourdough starter. His name is Breadword. This is what he looks like right now. This is a 1 to 3 to 3 feeding, which means 1 part starter, 3 parts water, 3 parts flour. And then I've also got a 1 to 1 to 1 starter as well. And I've just been keeping kind of both of them. And these are more of what I would call like a micro sourdough starter versus like, you know, sometimes the people's got the big ass jugs and it's just like, number one, I don't have the space. Number two, I don't have the time to bake bread that often. I don't need bread that often, and so I've been just keeping a micro starter now that it's established. I got my sourdough starter from a gal on Etsy. I'll put it here on the screen if I remember. And it came live. It was like a live culture. And then I also bought a dehydrated starter just in case I killed this one. So, you know, we're trying to cover the bases here. I did try to start one, but it was not going as anticipated. So that may be something that we do in the future and we try to make our own again. But for now, we're using an established starter that is also gluten-free, of course. Now, the reason we're talking about gluten-free so much is I've got some health issues that I've been dealing with. So this will be kind of like a where you been, let's catch up real quick, and then also let's try and make a loaf of bread together kind of video. So if you guys are interested in that, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified when my next video goes live. Let's jump on in. Okay, step one, I've got the starter, right? I've got those established. And I was just trying to find a recipe that I thought would look good or be easy enough to do. I think I'm going to try this one. It is like a bread loaf, and I've got a bread pan, a loaf pan, and we'll give that a shot. This won't be a true gluten-free sourdough loaf. It will be what they consider a hybrid loaf because I will be putting sourdough, or not, I will be putting yeast in it as well to help with it rising. And I'm going to do that because my house is cold and I don't have a proofer yet. So that is something that I intend to get like this in the next week or two. I just haven't ordered it yet. It was Christmas recently and I kind of wanted to see if I was going to get it in Christmas or not, and I didn't end up getting one, so I'm going to go ahead and get one ordered here like I said, in the next week or two. So that'll be fine. We can maybe try at that point to do like a traditional gluten-free loaf, but I've tried a couple already and they're either like dense or they're not rising quite well enough because I don't have like the proper setup to do so. So I'm trying to do this as economical as possible because I don't know, like I just don't think it should be like this whole like hoopla thing, right? Like a lot of people spend a lot of money on sourdough stuff and all their kits and all that, and I'm just not particularly interested in that. It's never really been my vibe. I kind of try to make things that work for me. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do right now, and while we make some bread, we'll kind of get into the nitty-gritty of where I've been and what's happened to me. So let's get started. Okay, so like first things first, I don't want to hear anything about the dishes in the sink behind me. It was just Christmas, I did some holiday baking, and my sink is now full of dishes that I need to do, and I just need to put them in the dishwasher. So don't act like they've been here for like 3 weeks, because they hadn't been, okay? I just needed like 24 hours to myself, and we'll do the dishes today, okay? Okay, thank you. Now that we've got that settled, okay, we're gonna need a gluten-free flour blend, of course, and I've actually got one over here. It's actually a maybe I don't have the one I thought I did. Okay, that's fine. I've got a couple different options. I've either got like a gluten-free bread flour. This one is from King Arthur. Or we've got Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 baking flour. And what I want to look back, okay, so on the back here, it will tell you obviously what is in the blend. This one has xanthan gum, which is a good stabilizer for like gluten-free things. So the recipe calls for adding that, but if it already has it in it, we don't need to do that, right? So we're not going to add xanthan gum. We just need flour, and we need, we don't have a tapioca starch flour. We'll need sugar, salt, my sourdough starter, warm milk. I'm also dairy free, so I won't be using milk, but I have a milk alternative, and like a butter, obviously dairy free again, but I will be using like a dairy free alternative. Not a big deal. Okay, I don't need the recipe image. I don't need the nutrition label. I just need the recipe. Thank you. Print. I'm gonna share that to my notes. Okay, so it says prep time should be about 20 minutes. Cook time will be about an hour. And then there'll be, in the middle of that, we'll have a rise time of about 4 hours. And then it doesn't call for it, but I think we're going to put a little bit of instant yeast in it as well. So the 4 hour mark might not be completely accurate. It might be like 1 to 2 hours instead of 4. So, okay, so I'm going to get out a mixing bowl, and I'm trying to see, it might call for a mixer. Okay, and the big thing with like gluten-free dough is it doesn't resemble like traditional dough. So if you were to try this with like a traditional sourdough starter, it would need like stretch and folds, which is basically where you pick the dough up, you stretch it up to build the gluten in it, and then you fold it back over, and then you would turn the bowl another like 90 degrees and do the same, fold it over, turn the bowl, stretch, fold, turn it over until you've done like a complete 360. And that helps build the gluten structure in a traditional sourdough loaf, but we don't have gluten in this, so we don't actually need to do that portion of it, which is really nice. Also kind of a curveball, because how was I supposed to know that, right? Like, what am I doing with my life? Okay, I don't know. So I am going to go ahead and do my dry ingredients in one bowl, and then we'll mix in the wet ingredients into that. So I need a 1 cup measure. I don't know if I actually have a 1 cup, but I've got a 3/4 cup and a... Let me see if it's in the dishwasher. Okay, well, all my 1 cups are in. Let's see if I do. 3/4 and 3/4 is 1.5, and then 3/4 and 3/4 is 1.5, and that's 3. So I've got a 3/4. Oh, I do. Okay. That'll work. Because again, we still need to do the dishes. Okay, I don't want to hear about it. Thank you. Okay, so we are gonna do, this is a 1-to-1 baking flour, like I said. This is the Bob's Red Mill, gluten-free. And this one I am looking at on the back is actually different than my bread flour. My bread flour, I am realizing, has a pea protein in it, which I'm actually not supposed to be eating. So we're gonna have to find a different alternative for that later, but that's not a right now problem, okay? Okay, thank you. So, where I've been this whole time. Well, first of all, when we left off, it was April of 2024, which is quite a long time ago. It's December 2025 now. I'll do the math for you. That's 1 year and 8 months. Okay? Now that we've gotten that out of the way, what's happened since then? Well, quite a few things have happened, actually. At that video, I was really sick, or had been really sick for quite a while. I got a really bad, like, sinus infection at that time. And so I lost my hearing for like 2 weeks. And then I had some like chest congestion that went with that, of course, because why would I ever get sick without having chest congestion? I don't know. And then I also, let's see, what did I do? That summer I had my girls trip. We went to the Redwoods that year, which was nice. That was fun. And in the Redwoods we also, oh, here's my one-to-one. This is the King Arthur 1-to-1. Why did I say 1-to-1? It's just a 1-to-1. Substitute for gluten-free. So, we have that as an option if we want to. This one I'm looking at the back and it doesn't have pea protein in it, which is nice. So that's good. What we do need though is 2 tablespoons of sugar. This is a half tablespoon, so I'm just doing 1 and 2, and that's 1 and 1 and 2, and that's 2. Okay, so we went to the Redwoods, and that was like in August, and in July that year, I actually ended up getting a food sensitivity test done. So that's where part of the allergy things are coming from. I found out I have a lot of sensitivities to a lot of things that I was eating at that point in time. So the big ones, just brief overview, is gluten. Obviously, we're making a gluten-free loaf. Dairy, so no dairy products. Another big one for me is eggs. So I've had to find like a lot of egg substitutes or egg workarounds. And then the last one for me, that's like in a big category, is like a legume. So like peas, specifically like the pea protein, like I just called out in the bread flour. And then the like peanuts, like peanut butter too. So I have a really hard time with that. So there was several other things too, but those are like the big categories, but also like bananas, pineapples, beef, which I already wasn't really eating, just, you know, things like that. So August of 2024, I went ahead and really started trying to narrow down all these allergies. And the sensitivity test was a really good starting point for me. I'd say I lost, let's see, I'd say maybe at first I lost about like 10 pounds. And at that point I was fairly heavy. Like for me specifically, I'm not saying I was like obese or anything like that, like not comparing fatness from one person to another or anything like that. Like for me physically, I felt unwell. And like nothing I did would get it to go away, right? So it's, number one, it's frustrating. I don't feel good. I'm exhausted all the time. I feel like shit. I look like shit. And to add to that is like then the insult of doing all this work trying to, you know, be a fairly healthy, balanced, well-lived person, and it's not doing anything for me. Okay, so August we do the start of the kind of detox from those couple things, and I started with gluten. And so when I was on our girls trip in August in the Redwoods, it was a really easy opportunity for me to try things that I hadn't normally tried and test them out and see how I felt about them before like fully diving into that situation at home, right? So I did that, and at home I still had several things that had like all these ingredients, right? So I'm not going to be wasteful. Things are astronomical cost-wise these days. So I'm not going to be wasteful of like food just because I can't, not supposed to, or I am sensitive to eating it at the moment, right? So I got home, I finished everything, and the first one that I weaned out was gluten. And I lost a little bit of weight and felt a little bit better, right? And then the second thing that I weaned out was also dairy. And that one was a big one. So figuring out those two things, I'd say by like December that year, I was probably down about 20 pounds. So that was like December of 2024. And this, I'm telling you all this, but I want to make it clear that like the weight portion, the number on the scale was not the like end goal of all of this. The end goal was to like feel better, and the weight came with that. So, so that was that. And then in December, literally the day after Christmas, of 2024, I got sick again. And I got so sick, I got walking pneumonia. And I was sick for like 7 weeks straight, which is really uncool. I had like the last 2 weeks of the year off because I just like to take the last 2 of the weeks of the year off because I don't know, I like to just kind of give myself a refresh and I start over, and I'm just like the worst version of myself in those 2 weeks, right? And I did that, and then I finally got over that, and I was still having a lot of like health issues, and so that led into like more doctor appointments, of course, and some ultrasounds and all that crap, and that came away with another diagnosis. And so I, number one, have been trying to deal with these like symptoms, and now I've got this added layer on top of that, right? So the added layer was this new diagnosis, and I'm not going to go into all the specifics of that. If you know me, you know what's going on. If you don't, I'll just leave it at the basic of it is I have heavy chronic inflammation. And so that's causing like a lot of these issues, right? I just feel unwell. My immune system reacts to it. My immune system reacts to the foods. My immune system reacts to certain activities. My immune system reacts to not sleeping well, to stress, etc. So the basic of it is I have chronic inflammation, and got that portion figured out and tried a couple things, finally found a med that will help and that I feel really good on, and all that. And then the weight is still like kind of doing whatever it wants to, right? And not as extreme as it had been, but it's still there, and it's still like reacting to things that I think should be good for me. So from there, I go to a dietitian to talk to them about it, and they specialize in this condition and other things that I have going. And so they kind of helped me with that. And so we narrowed down a lot of things. So that's where we end up with the gluten-free, dairy-free, the eggs, and the legumes, which are, in general, no-goes. And then we also have like artificial sweeteners are really hard on me, really hard on my gut, really hard on the inflammation. And then like heavily processed foods, of course, right? So whole foods are better. They are a little more challenging. They take more time to prepare. They also cost a fucking ton more too, which is where the bread comes in. The bread comes in because a single loaf of gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, pea-free sourdough for 6 slices of bread cost me $6.50. And I just refuse to keep paying that. So we're gonna make some bread. We're gonna see how it turns out. And we're gonna hope for the best. Okay? Okay. So we've got our flour and our sugar and our salt, and I fed my starter last night, so it's been fed within the last 12 hours. And then I need some warm milk. So instead of dairy milk, we're gonna use like a coconut milk. And then I need some unsalted butter at room temperature. I'm not gonna wait for it to get to room temperature. I'm just gonna get it and put it in the microwave and soften it up. Okay? Okay. So I don't love this butter. This is the Country Crock Homestyle one. I want to say it has pea protein in it, but it's literally so fucking hard to find something that doesn't, that is also vegan. So that's been another challenge, right? Is like, well, I can eat all these things, but I can't eat them if they've got all this stuff in it. Which is gonna sound like I'm being a whiner. That's not really what I'm getting at. I'm just getting at the fact that it is extremely difficult to do all the things that I need to do in the manner that they need to be done without going crazy, basically. Okay, my husband's home, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and mix up the flour and mix the dough together, and then I'm gonna let it set for a while, and then when it's ready to be like thrown in the oven, I'll get some shots of that, and then we'll kind of come back and see how it does. So yeah, I'll be back in a bit. When I tell you that I recorded this yesterday and it didn't make it. I had this recorded and I went to transfer over from my SD card to my laptop, and then it was taking forever on my laptop to transfer to my hard drive that I have. I have an external hard drive, and my footage got deleted in between all of that. So I'm back again. You wouldn't know, but there's no difference other than it's an extra day now. The bread didn't turn out. It's not breading, you know? So, if you hear that in the background, that's my cat. She's going wild. Yeah, it didn't turn out. It's pretty disappointing. So we'll have to try that again, and I don't know. We'll work on that and see what we can do for it. I did go ahead and order a proofer like I was talking about, so hopefully that'll keep things more consistent across the board. Like I said, my house is really cold. We keep it really cold all year round. I'd say it's under 67 all year round. I think technically during the winter it's like 63 to 65-ish, but it's gas heat, so it feels like a little bit warmer. And then in the summer we keep it at 67, so it's just not going to move as fast as it normally would in like a warmer environment. So we'll try that, and we'll see if like proofing it, giving it like an actual proofing environment helps, where it's like a consistent temperature. If not, we've got other things to try. It's not a big deal. I thought we could try recipes together though, and kind of make them fit more into like my dietary needs. So if you know of anyone, or if you're just trying to cut some things out, or you just want to try a new recipe that I thought was good too, then we can do that together. Yeah, so lots of things to come. Basically, I think we're through the hump of things, and I hope that 2026 is a little bit easier for all of us, really. I feel like it was a hard year for a lot of people that I know, and I just hope that 2026 isn't like that. And I hope that we all get the the rest and relaxation and get back to the good times that we want to have. And yeah, so there's that. I'll show you guys the bread here in another clip. It's hard as a rock. It's dense as fuck. It didn't rise, so I gotta go back to this drawing board on that one, but we will figure that out. Okay, as promised, here's the bread. It looks pretty sad, I know. So basically I'm gonna throw it away, of course. You know, just not what we were going for. It's got no squish. I'm gonna set the microphone down, so just a sec. Okay, it's got no squish to it. Hard as a rock on the outside. I think we could turn this into a weapon, like I'm saying. So yeah, it like didn't rise. So I don't know. I don't know what to do about that, but that's not really what I'm going for. So we'll give that another shot some other time, you know? In the meantime, though, I did want to show you guys. I did just get my perfer in. And I got a thermometer in there to make sure the temperature on the outside matches the temperature that it's reading. So basically it's got like all these options of like temperature. It goes all the way up to like, I want to say like 86 degrees maybe. And then it goes all the way down to I don't know what level. I'll have to look. And then you can set it for like the time as well. So you can set it for anywhere from 4 hours up to 48 hours. So that's pretty cool. I think this would be a really good option too if you're like going away for the weekend, but you don't want your bread to like your sourdough to like die on you know, over the weekend. You can always put it in your fridge too, which is like just fine. You can put it in your fridge after it's been fed and peaked, and then you can put it back in your fridge and it'll stay like kind of dormant until you get home and you're ready to start feeding it again, and then you can take it out of the fridge and start over. But yeah, we got our little bread warmer, so that's exciting. To kind of bridge the gap between where we left off and where we are now, the health stuff was kind of like the first half of the year, and then in the second half of the year we went on another girls trip. We went to Canada this year, so that was fun. And when I got back from Canada, that was in June. And then in July, I had a concert that I went to with one of my best friends. And that was the My Chemical Romance, the 20-year anniversary of the Black Parade album that they put out. One of their most popular ones for My Chemical Romance. And then after that, in July, I also went to another live show that was with another really good friend of mine. We went to a D&D show that was live, and that was for Dimension 20. And I won tickets for that for like half price. And then when we got there, they were upgraded to like just fucking killer seats, I tell you what. Yeah, so that was awesome. August, we went camping, and it was my husband's birthday that month. And then September was my birthday, and I started my master's program, which we'll kind of get into later. So I started that, and then in October, well, the rest of September, and then part of October, we had some family health stuff that went on, and we had one of our family members pass, and then, you know, did all of that. And November, I think, was pretty chill. And now we're here. So that's the gist of all of it. It's been a wild ride, and I thank everyone for their patience, and I hope that you guys are excited for the new content that we're going to be putting out, and I look forward to starting off the new year with you guys. So I will see you guys in my next vlog. Like I said, I will pop a clip in here of the bread But I will see you guys in our next video. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified when my next video goes live. And I will see you guys in the next one.